So am I bringing happy to work, or is work making me happy?
I think I bring happy to work.
I think I bring happy to work. I don't think something makes people happy.
But that's again, you're looking outside of you what you want to feel, and it's you are the one that needs to decide how you want to feel about everything.
So I do get people that are unhappy with work, and it's not about being in legitimately bad circumstances or not. Their experience of work being dissatisfying or not fulfilling or doing the same thing over and over again, like what you were talking about with your job. You got to a point where it became something you were comfortable with. It was repetitive. It was the same thing. And sometimes that's like soul crushing. Welcome to Permission the Podcast. I'm Dr. T, and this is my sister,
Silvana, and we are two regular people talking about spirituality in our daily lives.
Each week, we're inviting you to the internal conversation. So let's get started.
With your permission.
Welcome back to Permission the Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about the workforce, the pressure that each one of us places on work to be something that it has never been before.
Okay, let's do it. So tell me, because you came up with this idea to talk about this, so tell me how you feel that applies to your line of work and what pressures, well, you are your own boss, but what pressures are you putting into the space where you work?
I am my own boss. I like my boss.
Well, she's all right.
My boss is great. I have the most amazing boss. So I have been seeing this come up more and more, especially across the years. And I feel like what I have seen is changes with how people place an emphasis on work being everything, being, the thing that
Defines them,
their identity, their hobby, their thing that lights their soul on fire, the thing that's meaningful and purposeful and all of the things. And it seems like too much to place on one area of life. Or at least that's what I've noticed.
Get it. I was wondering where we're going with this episode. As you know, we don't really talk about what we're going to talk about. It's just, we just start and we go with the flow.
You're getting a real, actual conversation that has never happened before.
I see it a lot when you meet people and you ask them questions like, or you want to get to know them, or they want to get to know you. And the way they start is like, what do you do for a living?
It's the first question in the U.S.
To me, that tells me you don't really want to know about me. You want to know what I do for a living. You don't want to know about myself or what lights me up or what, why am I always smiling? Or you don't want to know. So to me, when people ask about work or when you ask them to talk about themselves and they start with work, well, I am an engineer or I am whatever you are. To me, that's like, okay, it's not what I was going for. Or can you talk to me about you without mentioning where you're from, what you do for a living? Like, can you tell me about your essence in a way? Like what lights you up?
Well, I feel like that's a hard thing to get into right off the bat. Like, how do you talk about your essence when you meet someone?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but like, also, do I want to know that you're on your computer all day? Or, like, I don't know, tell me about you. And yeah, I know your job is a big part of your life because you spend a certain amount of hours, some people 40 hours, some people more than 40, and some people
70.
Pending on, what they're trying to achieve in their workspace. But and for those people that their passion is what they work, like if your work is your passion, that's amazing. Like I know that for you, your work is your passion. It has always been. You always wanted to be a psychologist since you were one. You will be a psychologist. So I think that's amazing. If that's part of who you wanted to be and what you wanted to do. And I guess my thing is like, if you put all of that power into just work as something that defines you, what happens when you can't do it anymore? Who do you become? Like, you ever heard the people that talk about, hey, I was supposed to do this, I should have, could have, would have, or I had this life and then I got into an accident. And now they can't find themselves, or they're lost because were defined by what they were doing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. The missed opportunities, the missed trains, the if only this, then I would have this. But it's a lot of living in a fantasy, not living in reality.
Yeah.
You don't talk about what you do often or at all.
I really don't.
You really don't.
I don't. That's true. And I talk about the stuff I'm making, I'm creating, and the things that I enjoy doing. I don't want to say I don't enjoy getting a paycheck. And and I am good at what I do. I am the director of logistics for a pet product company. But it's, to me, yes, you're right. I never talk about it. And
you never talk about it.
And I try to keep it within business hours. You want to talk to me about work? Call me between, from this time to this time. I'll talk to you about work.
Call me during my
Cool.
business hours.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's funny because whenever I tell someone what I do, there's usually a reaction like, oh,
Is it like a reaction to because when I tell people about what you do, this is the reaction I get. So let me tell you the reaction I get. The reaction I get is like, whoa, she's busy. Everybody, especially after, during and after COVID, it's like, she's busy. Everybody's doing therapy.
everyone's got a therapist. I mean, so when I meet people in my personal life and then afterwards, we get a conversation going, or we've seen each other enough times at the gym, and then they realize, wait, I don't even know like what you do. What do you do? And I say, yeah, I'm a psychologist, and they're like, whoa. It freaks people out. Then and then there's this like, now people don't ask, but before they used to ask, are you psychoanalyzing me? Which is a really weird question to get, because you're not paying me, so no.
Why would I work on you? Right.
And no. But people have stopped asking me that, and I think they now just express it on their faces. They're like, whoa. And then they go through a process of thinking, like, what have I said?
I shared?
And did I talk about my mother? No.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty, because someone has a reaction, whether it's a good one or whatever. I think now it's more of a good one. Before it was kind of like, you're a shrink.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and also before too, there was so much, I don't know, shame. I want to call it a little bit of shame of people like, I see a therapist was a secret, right?
Yeah.
A little more shame, like, oh, I don't want people to know that something wrong with me, right? So I think that has changed into, oh my God, everybody should be doing therapy, or everybody should be doing something to work on themselves. And so I think that's the point for you, for sure.
So yeah, I have wanted to be a therapist for a really long time. Did you want to be the director of logistics for a pet company?
No, that just sort of landed on me after different jobs, but it wasn't like, oh, that's what I want to. Like, I have other things that I'm more passionate about. Like, I feel like at this moment, with what I do, I don't want to say I know it all because there's different things about logistic that happen on and on, but I just feel like it's something I know how to do. I do it well, and it's no challenge. It's nothing new. There's like it's. I feel like I'm comfortable there. Yet it gives me. It is flexible, which I like. I enjoy, and I can do work on the other stuff, the stuff that are my passion,
Is it
which
weird to be
is
comfortable?
it's I don't want to say it's weird, but at the same time you're like, okay, start asking yourself questions. How long are you going to do this for, and what not? What's coming next? And to me, that means that what I need to be doing is really building what I'm already building which is working with the circle, with the women's circle I have, creating more art. I'm teaching someone how to meditate. And so just in a way coaching people to how do you say this word, acompañamiento,
Company.
to accompany people in their journey. And so in a way I'm doing a lot of things with my whole spirituality journey. So it's brought me to the women's circle, which every time I have one of the circles, we're doing once a month still, but I do want to crank it up to twice a month. Every time I'm planning for it, it's like to me super exciting just to write down everything I want to talk about and just to create the schedule for what we're going to do, which is 2 hours. And we do meditation, rituals, we do some movement to move energy, and then, we share and support each other. So to me, that's where I feel like, okay, I'm stepping into my purpose, I'm working on it, and I feel very fulfilled.
That's awesome. So when you have looked for jobs in the past, what has been your requirement for jobs?
For jobs, besides the pay,
Yeah, like
yeah, I mean, convenience, flexibility. How convenient is it for me to get from home to there? Traffic. At one point, I didn't know much about logistics. So at one point, I was like learning and learning different things and more things at the time. So depending on the position and what it was I helping someone? Was I, where do they do business with? Was it China? Which countries? And so I was very knowledgeable in doing business with Mexico. And at one point, because I worked for a German company that had a subsidiary there, and we had a warehouse there, and they made fans, high-end fans. And so I was there for 13 years. And so I did learn a lot, when at that point, but at this moment I feel like, okay, I don't know if, like, I don't want to say like, okay, I've gone to the top.
you've plateaued with your learning.
There's always more I could learn, I guess, but how useful would it be to where I'm currently working? And so I have taken courses online, like free courses before with Coursera. I don't know if you know Coursera. There's like free online courses from different universities. Unless you want a certificate, it's free. But if
Nice.
you want your certificate, you can pay, I don't know, $200-300 to get a certificate from different universities and different courses. I but what I'm currently doing when it comes to work, I feel like, okay, I'm probably going to do this for a little longer, but I'm trying to shift my focus into what I'm passionate about, meaning what what the version of me right now is passionate about. And at one point, yes, I was passionate about logistics, when I was learning all of these things, and it was cool, the documents, this, but at this moment, my passion is taking me somewhere else. And I feel like it's like you can like something at one point. It doesn't mean it's just going to be you for your whole life. And it could be for some people, not for me. At this moment, I'm working in my art, working with my group, my circle.
So was it ever that you were trying to find a job that defined you, that was meaningful and purposeful and all that?
I want to say that I felt that way about when I was trying to find a job that had more like a creative side of things, so I can use my creativity or art in a way. But the jobs I kept landing were because also to my career was, business. I just stayed with what I was learning and what I was getting better at, and then pay kept getting going that way. And
Oh yeah.
so I just stuck with that. And at the side, I mean, I always did art and other stuff that, I enjoyed.
Okay, so I feel like there's more of the let me find something that sets my soul on fire as the narrative that I've encountered from people. And that might just be the people that come to me, or it might be a shift in a dynamic. I know that there were lots of people that quit their jobs, and that was, I think, during the pandemic or pandemic related.
And some people quit like good jobs.
Yeah.
Like they were like high paying jobs and whatnot. And I mean, and yeah, another no, but that was like also how you were like, okay, life is so short, it's fragile. Look at all these people dying. What?
You think it had to do with death?
I think so. Look, staring in the mirror, like, do I really want to do this? What if I die tomorrow with COVID? So a lot of people, I think, regrouped and shifted, did a shift in career. I think a lot of it had to do with that.
If the vid were to take me. Okay.
I mean, that's how I saw it. Like, if kind of like the exercise we did that one day, like, if you knew you were going to die in whatever long, what would you do? What do you want to, what do you want people to remember you by? Oh, yeah, she was great punching whatever her keys in her computer, moving containers from China and India. I mean, like, I think people were faced with that, with how fragile life can be and their own mortality. And so they did a shift, and good for them, like.
Yeah. I feel like it's really put into perspective some things. My two best friends, I think they're having a hard time hiring people, and they work in the same organization, which is how we met 100 years ago. And they're still mad that I use the reference as ex-colleagues, but I don't use it anymore. But they work together now, and it sounds like they're having difficulties hiring people. So finding someone to do the job, whatever the job is that they're looking to fill. It's kind of interesting.
Do you think that also, and I don't know, because this just came into my mind. Do you have all these kids, right, graduating from college? Their debt is bananas, right? They have this huge debt, and they're really looking for something that makes more, to cover, okay, now I have to pay loans and I kind of have to live on my own, which is, the whole thing is ridiculous too. How you expect someone that just graduated to have debt like a mortgage and you expect them to support themselves, be responsible to pay them back. Something's got to give. Something's got to change.
Yeah, and at the same time, I think, well, how is not having a job helpful?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I don't get it.
I don't know. But here I go again. Okay. First jobs out of college. They're not the best paying jobs. There's all this competition. You start, at the bottom, kind of.
Yeah, you
So
do.
if I waitress or if I'm a bartender, I make this much money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then I wonder if you have kids just trying to make this decision, like, oh, I'm going with this, rather than, I don't know, what are they offering? 30 grand a year? Like, I don't know what the college kids are starting at these days.
Oh, I see.
I started
thinking.
at 34 grand a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just think about that. I used to make more money being a bartender.
It has to be interesting being a bartender in New York. I've not tried it. I think you should try it though.
You know what?
You were great. You were great.
It was fun. It was
bartender.
Fun being a bartender.
Yeah.
Because I struck conversations with, the coolest people. There were some that weren't that cool, but that's okay. They were giving me their, whatever was going on. It was kind of like bar therapy.
I know. I was just going to say you were like, you had my job,
I had your job.
but you loosened them up.
We should open a bar therapy.
Oh my God, yes.
That sounds cool.
Yes.
Hey, bar therapy. And you can have actually psychologists that just graduated being bartenders.
Dude, I love it.
Let's talk about this after,
Yeah. The undergraduate students, the soon to be licensed.
Yeah.
I love it. Bar therapy. Okay. Yeah,
we can do gym
talk
therapy
after.
too.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that's the only thing that comes into mind. Just getting out there. All these dead options are out there, really.
I mean, also, there's this kind of idea that work should make you happy, maybe. Is that right? Is that something that should be happening? Should work make you happy? I don't know.
Well, you are happy working at what you do, right?
I'm also just happy.
Yeah, me too.
So am I bringing happy to work, or is work making me happy?
I think I bring happy to work.
I think I bring happy to work. I don't think something makes people happy.
But that's again, you're looking outside of you, what you want to feel, and it's you are the one that needs to decide how you want to feel about everything.
So I do get people that are unhappy with work, and it's not about being in legitimately bad circumstances or not. Their experience of work being dissatisfying or not fulfilling or doing the same thing over and over again. What you were talking about with your job, you got to a point where it became something you were comfortable with. It was repetitive. It was the same thing. And sometimes that's like soul crushing to do the same thing over and over again. And sometimes it isn't, because, we are in the cycle of recursive nature, right? The golden spiral. You eat something off of a plate, you're going to have to wash it. And then as soon as you wash it, you're going to have to use it again, and you're going to have to wash it again, right? Like how many gym clothes do I have before I have to do a load? Like we're in these cycles of repetitiveness. And I feel part of it is embracing that repetition, because I want to have clean gym clothes, right? Like,
Well, I think also, let's step back a little, because the other thing that I thought about, what makes my job, even though, yes, it is, I'm doing, it's a different container, same thing, but different people, different, but I'm doing the same thing over and over for different customers. The one thing that makes my job enjoyable are the people that I work with. The people that I work with, they're caring. They're my boss. He's caring. We do team lunches on Tuesdays. He pays for our lunch. He cares. He's kind and nice, and
he's pushing pet products. He's a good person.
He is. He also has a daycare, dog daycare. But
also,
what
good
I'm
person.
saying, yeah, I know he is a good person. And so, that being said, when there's certain people or certain work, what do you call it, atmosphere?
Yeah.
That there's people that push for do this, do that, do this. Make sure do. It has to be perfect, and point out everything you did wrong. And there's people that lead their team differently. Like, how can I help you? How can you know what I mean? Like, how are you doing today? Blah, blah, blah. And so that makes a difference, a huge difference, really, on how you feel about, like, okay, these people care about me, rather than, I can't wait to get out of here. He just pointed out whoever is managing me or whatever is just pointing out everything I did wrong, instead of, and how I didn't meet the whatever quota or whatnot. I don't know. Call callers. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, so there's different ways to feel appreciated by your coworkers, by your boss, and that comes from, management or whoever owns the job.
So it's interesting because it really depends on, one, the environment, like what does the system look like, and the other is what the individual needs are, because each individual within a system is going to need something, and it may look a little different or whatever the case is. So someone getting the, you do this, you do that, might work for one worker and it might not work for another. So I
I
feel like
see.
it's like a
Depends
tricky,
on you.
yeah.
Well, then you have to understand who needs what and who not. I mean, have that human touch of understanding. Okay, like I have that with my kids. Aiden, I could smack Aiden, and that would mean nothing to him. Like, hey, stop it! No, put him in timeout, and it was the end of the world for him. Meanwhile, Brandon was like, I would just be like, "Ah," and he would stop everything.
It's funny.
Or I would whistle. And he would like, both actually, eventually they got the whistle thing. I think we got that from grandma.
Yeah.
Because every time they did something, I would whistle loud and they were like,
They would have a freeze response. They would be like,
yeah,
oh,
okay, regroup. But you know what I mean? Like, what I'm saying is every human being is different. How they take information, how they do things. And in order to have, I think, a successful workplace, you have to have, you have to understand who's working for you.
and I feel like the demands are on work and what work should be are potentially wholly unreasonable. Like it could just be we're placing too much emphasis on what the workplace is supposed to provide. And I feel like kind of going a little bit into a new direction with this, I feel like it has to some extent an impact based on what has happened with religion. Like there's potentially a hole that is left, in the wake of walking away from a religion, right? So we were raised, Roman Catholic, right? And I don't think either one of us is potentially actively in the Roman Catholic
Ways.
community, So
Yeah.
there were different places to get different things, and organized religion was an area for people to come together with similar belief structures and right, like have community around a set of belief systems, right? I feel like potentially that has now been outsourced to work, which,
Okay.
could be a good thing, could be a not so good thing. It depends on if people are aware of the need that they're wanting and what they're doing to replace it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
So
I understand your point. We have when we text each other, so we have a group text in WhatsApp because we have somebody international, and the name of the chat is the name of my job, Dream Team.
dream team, nice.
Like, so my boss says that he has his dream team right now. And so I don't know. There's things at the end, I'm still putting my time into someone else's business, right? And for me, I want to put time to in what it's my passion and eventually will grow to be my own thing, my own business, my own something that will support me without having to do what I do 9 to 5. Well, I shouldn't say 9 to 5 because now I'm part time, which I manifested. Anyway,
Well, yeah, I just think it's a lot of pressure, like a lot of pressure to place on an organization, or a lot of pressure to place on the thing that is providing a paycheck. And maybe at some point it was easier, and maybe all we did was complicate things. I feel the same about relationships, right? We've complicated relationships as well, coming out of the 4 weeks of relationship talks. It's just a lot of pressure on one relationship. It's just a lot of pressure on one system, potentially. And maybe that's not the case for everyone, but I have been seeing it.
I think that the more you look outside of you to be happy, to be fulfilled, be, you know, complete, even your better half, the more you're looking out there for something to fulfill you, it's like it's not going to happen because you got to find it inside of you. Meaning, are you going to be content and it's going to be, oh, cool? Yeah, sure. Is it going to enlighten you in ways? Yes, but not when you're looking outside of you to be happy, then you're putting that on everything else and it's not going to happen on your car. I mean, what do we say? We use a car as an example.
Yeah.
We use the couple. We use, even your family or people outside of you. Then you're always going to be living in this like, if so and so did this, I'd be happier. Or if this and this happened, then I will be really happy. If we had a baby, then our relationship would be better. So always something outside. While people look in the mirror, look at the reflections you're getting from the decisions you're making and work on it. Why am I choosing this? Why am I going back to this relationship? Why am I in this pattern? And so when you find that root cause of things, then, heal, be happy. Or like Bashar says, you want
Easier
to,
said than done.
I know, or like he says, you want to just, things to be just lightened up, just lightened up. Like literally just do it. Make a decision to just do it.
Just be lighter. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Well, that's not to say people shouldn't quit, because people should quit jobs that they need to quit.
The same, right? If you're miserable at a job, quit. Find something. There's so much out there.
Also, you have to really have the understanding that you will take yourself wherever you go next. And at the same time, if the job that you have right now isn't, then that's worth exploring, and just being able to recognize that you'll still be there. So yes, the situation at work can be that difficult, and if you leave, you will leave with you. So
Are you saying if you are the problem, fix you?
But that's not to say you shouldn't quit. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. No, for sure.
I don't know how else to say that.
Yes, it was well put. You're still going to live with you. So it is how you let every situation affect you. So if you're going to let the outside world affect you, then you are going to let that affect you in the next place. So work on your triggers. Love your triggers. Work on them. Is there better opportunities out there and job wise? Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, part of it is optimizing your environment too. Like, there's been countless research now talking about the importance of our environment. Our environment impacts us and yada, yada, yada. And being able to recognize what is a good environment, an enriching environment, an environment that one can thrive in is really important. So yes, you are there. and the environment actually does matter. And if you change your environment, that will impact things. So part of it is really having an understanding of what's you, but also what's your environment. And that could be your environment, meaning the actual physical location, but also the environment at work, right? Your workplace environment. Because some people, when they group together, they don't make a good group.
They're not the dream team.
They're the antithesis of the dream. They're the dream team antagonists. Yeah.
That's true. And when you were talking about environment, I was thinking about, just try that at your home. When you rearrange furniture, when you make your bed every day.
My home.
When you don't leave your clothes on the floor, put them in the basket. All of these things have an impact of how you feel. If stuff feels beautiful and nice around you, so that's energy, and that vibration will elevate you. So same goes for work.
I'm positive my apartment looks exactly the same as the last time you saw it.
Yeah, I know. The pencil moved a little bit to the right.
And there's no clothes on the ground. And
yeah,
I keep things tidy.
I know.
So So the demand on work, I think it is really high. I would gauge to say it could be unreasonably high. I would venture into the unreasonable realm. What do you think?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, what you're saying is people are being unreasonable. It reminds me of, the list some people have when they want a relationship. He has to be this.
Relation shopping.
The list that almost like, seriously?
No, he is real. I just saw the Ugly Truth. Have you seen that movie? Well, it's a wicked old movie, and I rewatched it, and it's
Ugly
like
Truth.
this talk show host, and he's like, his whole thing is like, I'll tell you the truth about men, blah blah. And the caller goes,
Wait, what's his name?
Gerard Butler.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And she's like, he's the type of guy that blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, bring me this guy. I need to meet this guy. And she's like, he's out there somewhere. That made me think of that. He's out there somewhere.
It's funny. I have seen that a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a wicked old movie, but he's out there somewhere.
Okay.
The lists are, I've started to call it the Frankenstein list, just like picking, 10 different things and putting it in the blender and seeing what pops out.
Or do you want to be in a relationship with 5 different people that all combined make that one human?
That sounds like way too much work. That sounds like a lot of work.
No, that's a joke.
If I were to be in a relationship with 5 people, I feel like at least 4 of them would have to be men.
Wow. Or ouch. I don't know. So just to be funny or not, I've been spending a lot of time with my friend, Nati, and my boys. Now that you talked about women and men, my boys they made a comment about me having a date with her, meaning, what did he say?
Are you homosexual?
Oh, no. It went down that road with one of my boys. He's like, are you
changing teams?
Yeah, something like that. And I'm like, no. And then he asked my other son, hey, if mom were to marry a woman, would you go to her wedding?
Brendan asked.
I was like, what? Aiden was like, what? I don't know how it all went down, but yes.
Did Aiden say yes?
Aiden said he would support me, but he wasn't sure if he was going to the wedding. But then that's not support.
That's not what? Brendan said that?
And Aiden said, I love you. I would love you the same, but I don't know if I can go to the wedding. And I'm like, okay, that's not support.
Right.
Anyway, I am not gay.
You're not? Not that there's anything wrong with that. You know the Seinfeld episode?
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, but that's the line.
Yeah, not that there's anything
there's anything wrong with that. Yeah.
It just reminded me of that. I had to put it out there.
Yeah. I feel like there's too much pressure on what people do for a living, on work identity. I guess it's like a flex, maybe. Like, I do this.
Like a muscle?
Yeah.
Flex?
Yeah. I think people use their careers as a flex, no?
They use their car as a flex. People use all kinds of things as a flex, like, hey, check it out. People use their own muscles as a flex.
So could it be simpler? I feel like it can. I feel like it could be simpler. I don't know, because this is what I've wanted to do forever. So
Could it be simpler?
Me being a psychologist is the thing that I've wanted to do forever. So I'm not necessarily sure that I'm in a position to say, just take any job. Because I didn't just take any job. I didn't. I picked something that was meaningful for me.
You have shift from many different places. I mean, meaning, what did you do after Fresno? You had also your own practice at one point, and then you shifted. You have changed towards something that aligns more with you, meaning it's not like you're, okay, I'm a psychologist and I'm going to stay here, and you stayed in one place and did the same thing over and over and over and over and over. No, you have changed who you work for and what you do. So you you do have a voice and opinion.
Well, I've changed. I've gone into group practices. I've gone into private practices. I've worked with insurance. I worked outside of insurance. I've done evaluations. I've done ADHD evaluations. I've done evaluations for courts, for workers' compensation. I've done this. I've done that. So within psychology, I've done several different things. I feel like therapy is the thing that I'm best at with anxiety specifically.
So at the same time, you had to try things under the umbrella of psychology, obviously, but you had to try things to see, okay, how do I fit here? How does that make me feel? How does that align with what you believe or whatever? At the same time, people can do that. I mean, can it be simpler? Yeah, it can be if you are sure of what you like and what you know yourself. You know thyself.
I feel like that's another thing that has been coming up is people not knowing what they like. It's kind of an interesting thing of I don't know what I'm into. I don't know what hobbies I like. I don't know what I'm passionate about.
You're talking about the I don't know people. They respond to everything with I don't know. And I'm like, well, you gotta know something. And I think that's a line I stole from you because
you gotta know something.
You gotta know something.
I think that's the line I use for Runaway Bride. You gotta know how you like your damn eggs. You gotta know how you like your eggs. You can't just say, I like them like you like them, baby. No, you don't. You have to know how you like your eggs.
Get your own eggs. That reminds me of Mom. You see how Mom orders everything my dad orders?
I'll have what he's having.
And then I'm like, Mom, but
why does it drive you nuts? Who
like,
cares?
No, that's fine because sometimes what my dad orders is awesome, right? But then I'm like, you're gonna eat off his plate anyway. Get something else. I'm just saying.
Leave my mom alone.
It used to bother me. It doesn't anymore.
I know it used to bother you. You would talk to me. Did you see how she ordered the same thing? He did. She just ordered the same thing. Why? And it's like, because she wanted it. Why else would she have ordered the same thing?
Because she has a hard time making a decision for herself. And that's what used to bother me. Now she orders something different. I think I helped her with that. With all my faces.
You would always you would grill her. You would be like, but Mom, what do you want?
No, but see, okay, I'm going to just give you the perfect example. If my dad orders something with meat, which normally that's what he orders, my mom doesn't eat that much meat. And then she will order the same. I'm like, Mom, I know for sure you don't like that. But you just can't be bothered reading the menu and finding something for yourself. So I would be like, let me read it for you.
And then you would find something with mushrooms and she would be like, that.
This. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Oh yeah, see what happens when you read the menu? Anyway, be authentic.
So it's not about just taking any job, even though it could be about taking any job.
At times,
you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do to make whatever, to make sure you pay the rent, to make sure you pay whatever. In Boston, I had 2 jobs. I was a hostess and a waitress. And then I went to be bartender. But, I had to do what I had to do because in my mind, I was like, I had a vision. My vision was when I go into college, I'm going to pay cash. And so it meant I would be from one job, get out of my other job, hop on the T, go to the next job, and get out at night. Look, I had to do what I had to do. You know what happened when I got into college?
You paid cash.
I paid cash.
When I got out of UConn, I was doing 2 jobs that were really dumb timing-wise. So I had the 3rd shift.
I remember that.
At a teen,
was it a house or something? Like
a teen home, yeah.
Home, yeah.
Yeah, and so I had a 3rd shift, and then I did an extended day program, and it was in the middle of the day. So when was I going to sleep?
Never.
2 hours in between jobs and then 2 hours in between jobs. You know what I mean?
That's impossible.
It was a really silly setup. So I So I was getting into work at, what's third shift? Like 10 p.m. and getting out at 7 a.m. and then going into work at 11 a.m. and getting out at 6 p.m. So when was how do you math that? When do you sleep with that
All I
schedule?
have to say about that, it's when you're young, you don't think about sleep. And that's true when I was doing those 2 jobs, because on top of the 2 jobs, I still went out dancing. And hey, sleep is what do they call it when you're young?
For when you're old or dead or something?
Yeah, I'll sleep when I die.
For sure we got our work ethic from my father. I mean, not that my mother was any different.
I work like 3 jobs. Yeah, I know.
So, and then he complains about me working too much. I'm like, Dad, when my father was my age, he was working 3 jobs. So, no. But also, I feel like I have a really high threshold for work. I can work a lot of hours. You?
I think so. Well, I can work a lot of hours when it comes to the stuff that I'm doing for, for the circle and stuff. Like I do a lot of planning for that. When I volunteer my time for the New Haven Day of the Dead and building the giant puppets and stuff, like that's a lot of hours, but it doesn't feel like work.
Wait, so you can't really work your regular job a lot of hours?
You mean more than 40?
Yeah, like 60, 70.
I try to keep it within the amount of hours, the 40. Yes, I have worked probably 50.
No, not what you want, but
because I had to.
No, but can you?
I could when I was, I could. Why would I if I don't have to?
So that's interesting because I can and I would and I would want to.
Right. But again, you are your boss.
Yeah.
So I get it.
I have a great boss. My boss is amazing. I have the best boss.
For the record, I do have a nice job. I mean, a nice boss. He's really nice. I only put extra hours when I know there's something urgent, when something needs certain things. So because of the time difference with the factory, sometimes I work at night. Not for long hours, but sometimes I've put in, 1-2 hours at night.
Okay. So I still think it's unreasonable.
What's unreasonable?
What society is placing on work as a system, as an organization. And I feel that if we can start getting other systems, that might help. So other systems like community, other systems like gym, other systems like women's group,
right?
Systems.
But there's some jobs that will pay for your gym membership, and they do activities like that, and that's amazing.
Yeah, they've started doing that with preventative care,
right?
Benefits.
So also, Carlos talked about how they had was it October, the month of October, they walked, I don't know, like teams, and
yeah, they did
the walkathons, or I don't know, I forgot
a step
what it was
challenge.
called. Yeah, and so to me, just find the right place to be where you feel comfortable, where you feel, where you feel seen, where you feel all of these things, but just know that your true happiness and your true self, I don't know, what do you call it?
Value,
It all comes from inside.
esteem.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can find a place where you feel like, okay, feels nice because of the people, because of what you're doing, because you putting into action some of what you're passionate about, or because you bring creativity to the plate, whatever it is. You can find something like that as long as you know that your happiness comes from you inside. And it is you that makes the decision where you feel good and not good.
Right. And also, you can use your job to leverage other things, right? Like you can
pay for my school.
Exactly. Like you can work at a organization at an organization and, go save puppies by evening, and then
you're Superman or woman.
At some point, you might be able to do that long enough where you kind of go into a realm of like starting a nonprofit or whatever. And those two things can be coexisting, right? It's not like you need to pin one against the other. And your hobby doesn't necessarily have to earn you money, because sometimes when money does get involved with things that you're passionate about, it can impact the pleasure that activity brings, and no one wants that. I hear that a lot with,
or it doesn't have to. It's
yeah, like
you can do both,
right?
Meaning
you can do both.
Meaning you can also make money off of your passion.
Yes,
without it affecting it.
And without it affecting it, as long as you're not putting, crazy pressure on it. I feel like it becomes something not sustainable when there's so much pressure. It's like a kettle effect.
Or stress.
Okay, so this is what we have for you this week. The workforce. Are you placing too much emphasis on work being all of the things, the meaning, the purpose, the setting your soul on fire, the identity, the this, the that, the escape from home?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Maybe it doesn't have to be all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. And we'll be back next week.
With your permission.
And that is all we have for you this week.
Make sure you follow Permission the Podcast.
And we'll be back next week with your permission.